CSIS and the FBI are warning about the growing threat of hackers targeting researchers working on COVID-19 treatments. Canada's spy agency doesn't point the finger at China, but the Federal Bureau does, accusing the communist government of trying to steal intellectual property. Today, the Prime Minister was asked what Canada is doing to protect COVID-19 research from theft by hostile states. Justin Trudeau also didn't mention China.
We have long been concerned about intellectual property protections in Canada. That's why we've increased the funding for the CSC, which is a communication security establishment that watches over cyber attacks and makes sure that our systems are safe.
Trudeau did say he's alarmed by China's move to impose a new national security law on Hong Kong. The proposed legislation could result in a crackdown on pro-democracy groups and reduce the territory's autonomy. There have been countless anti-government demonstrations in Hong Kong focused on the Chinese government's increasing control. More than 300,000 Canadians live in Hong Kong. And as Eric Sorensen reports, they, along with the rest of the world, are watching what happens next.
It is China's major political gathering of the year, and the National People's Congress has moved swiftly to propose a law to assert Beijing's security control over Hong Kong once and for all. Citing interference by foreign hostile forces, the Congress vice chair said powerful measures must be taken. The measures would give China's government the power to directly enforce security in Hong Kong. A small protest by pro-democracy activists took to the streets, and some lawmakers scuffled with security in Hong Kong's legislature. Under the British handover in 1997, a one-country, two-systems agreement ensured Hong Kong some autonomy till 2047.
Xi Jinping is burning Hong Kong.
Activists say Hong Kong's freedoms will be lost.
So they are announcing to the world that Hong Kong is no longer under one country, two system. It is now one country, one system.
Hong Kong's stock market fell more than 5% on Friday. Internationally, Canada's Prime Minister, who has sharpened his tone with China over two Canadians being held by Beijing, has now joined the UK and Australia expressing deep concerns over Hong Kong.
We have 300,000 Canadians who live in Hong Kong, and that's one of the reasons why we want to ensure that the one country, two systems approach continues for Hong Kong.
Justin Trudeau did not address possible sanctions. U.S. President Donald Trump suggested he's prepared to act if the laws change in Hong Kong.
If it happens, we'll address that issue very strongly.
Masks on all but the most senior officials are a sign of the extraordinary times for Beijing, facing global criticism over the coronavirus and now Hong Kong, but seems prepared to weather both.
It's a very unequivocal move that Beijing will no longer put up with the types of opposition that you've been seeing in Hong Kong, and that it is prepared to respond very decisively.
Activists are promising larger protests, but it's unclear whether Hong Kong's future will be one more dynamic, altered during the COVID-19 pandemic. Eric Sorensen, Global News, Toronto.